Yeah, it's spicy digital, baby. Digital deceiver shadows live in the mix. White socks. We don't chase clout, we chase truth. Now let's go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm so sorry that I'm late. I'm so sorry. Sometimes things happen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. But I am here now. And what's so crazy is that today is an abbreviated live. But I didn't mean it to be abbreviated so that I could be late. So I apologize. Let's get right into it. So, today we're going to talk about Raquel Rachel. What is Begtok? Begtok is people who get on TikTok damn near every day and beg for either money or gifts. And they always have a reason for why they need the money. They always have a reason for why they can't get it themselves, why they can't work more, why they are in the situation that they're in. So today, Raquel Rachel, and she's going to be mad as hell. Of course, I have some DDS thoughts today because TikTok has been wilding out. Then I want to talk about Tashanique because what she did and said yesterday was outrageous to me. And then, of course, we're going to discuss Sheena. Isn't that mean that you shouldn't pay attention to them? Mushroom Boo, this is the thing. I'm not even here to discuss them, or they're not my main concern, is what I really should say. It's not about whether they can beg from today until next year. My goal is to introduce these people and what they do to people so they don't get taken advantage of. Because that's who I care about. I care about the people who think they are being kind or nice or supportive, but they're just being taken advantage of. And I do multiple people in a day so that people understand that they can find the red flags. So whether or not last night's show Jordan is in for a show enough game changer today. Oh, okay, Jans. Well, if I have time, thank you guys. You know, gifts are appreciated but not expected. So that's why I do what I do. Okay, pink pearls and all, girl. No problem. So, you know what I say? Please tap the screen every time I change the photo because there are clearly people that are going to be in here who aren't going to like what I talk about. And the goal is to get on the For You feed. Oh, thank you. He is awake, so we don't know what's going to happen today. Hopefully, he falls back to sleep. I'm talking about my co host. I can't even say his name because he's awake. All right, so who do I want? Let's start with Tashanique. So, Tashanique, we know, is constantly begging for money. And I don't understand how the people who have been supporting her are still supporting her after we found out that she lied about the money for the water bill. I don't understand how a single person is in her life. Not a single person. Because she swore up and down she needed to pay the water bill. First it was 170, then it went up to 200, and before long it was $300. And then what's interesting is the things that she purchased for her daughter's birthday party turned out to be that amount. And let's not forget that the first item was for her man. It wasn't even for the kids. And when she had to keep putting stuff back, she didn't say to him, hey, listen, we can get what you need later. She took the stuff back, or she took out the things for the kids. Daniel's in here. Pause on Tashanique for a second. Cause while he is in here, let's ask a question. Hold on. Where is it? Daniel, it's hilarious that you're in here. Daniel. Da- Daniel, why are you in the middle of your life passed out? Can I know? Since you want to be in here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when I'm not even talking about you, can I understand? Cause I knew you would be here. I knew you would be here. Cause you don't have nothing better to do. So can you explain why in the middle of your life you are passed out? Keep it classy, y'all. We don't tease and bully in here. Huh? And Mika, poor girl, was doing her best to keep your life together. She was rapping and singing, and people in the chat are like, go ahead, Mika, keep the live going. And then eventually, when Mika realized that no matter what she did, you was gonna be passed out, she left. She left. And then one by one, you could see people leaving the live. Did you think nobody would send me this video? Huh? Oh no, he did a little thing. He did a little 1-2 step with his content. Haven't heard anything from Daniel since. Okay. Let's go back to who we were talking about. Because that's what I thought. So, Tashanique, or Zim, as most people know her, did something absolutely wild to me. So let me show you. That TV was brand new, if you're unaware. Thank you. That TV was brand new. And her and her man were setting it up. She on the mantle, and she was trying to get it logged in to her YouTube so she could see their family channel on the TV. That was her focus. Good morning to everybody coming in. And I'm sitting here flabbergasted because just the other day you were begging for a water bill that you didn't pay for. And your man was at Walmart and said the goal is $35. And a grown woman sent the money to a grown man that doesn't work. And I'm thinking to myself, are we kidding ourselves? Like, as long as y'all will take care of everything they need, what does he need to get a job for? Y'all are the man in the relationship, not him. When she talks about we take care of our family, no, y'all do it. Y'all the man, the grandparents, the mother, the doctor, the mental health provider. Y'all are all of that. And I'm watching them put this TV up with all of this pride. And I'm like, well, did they get taxes back? Because what are we doing? But it didn't end there. It didn't end there. No, they don't have a stove yet. Somebody, go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead. She not only got a TV, but she got her hair and eyelashes done. And she's busy dancing around in people's faces. She got hit in the eye, and it took her so long to get it dealt with that they had to take the eye. She didn't do anything. Correct. Priorities. Listen, me paying my bills comes second to getting a brand new TV. Yeah, ignore Daniel. Yeah, as a matter of fact, y'all can mute him now because he just likes to be in here to see himself in the chat. That's all. So I'm looking at her and I'm like, you don't have the stove yet, but you prioritize a television and getting your hair and eyelashes done. And at first, I'm not even going front. I thought she did it herself. I was like, okay, because she can put a wig on and some makeup. Don't get her wrong. She can do it. And she looks good when she does it. I'm not going to take nothing from her. Exactly, all for one. Why get the stove when she gets DoorDash? Mind you, she's walking through Costco buying all of this stuff, all of this food. And it was like, okay, air fryer, microwave. Got it. She paid somebody. And had a nerve to complain, like, I don't know how y'all wear all this hair. It's so hot. This is the thing that killed me, though. She then says to her chat, now we got to get stuff for baby A. Bitch, what? You prioritize, and it related to like her G tube and all of that. You mean to tell me that y'all purchased a TV? You got your hair and nails done, I believe, and eyelashes, and now you gonna get something for baby A? And I swear to y'all, without a minute passed after she said we need stuff for baby A, somebody sent in. I don't know how much they sent because she wasn't even asking for a specific amount in that moment. What are you sending her money for? Beautiful, I am completely aware. But explain to me why your money needed to go to them when they clearly have money to spend. And then was like, we're going to look for a stove. Mind you, doesn't she have to be out of there by July? So, who's going to move you, ma'am? I don't understand it. She sent her money, her cousin money. Yo. And this is how in a month she'll be back to begging. In a month she'll be back to begging. If not sooner. Oh, it's $20 to mod for her. She'll be like, send me such and such and you can get in my box. Everything with her is about getting money, not accountability, not having priorities. And then to top it off, oh, she gifted her mom $20. Woohoo! Y'all got big money for being her mom. $20? Yes, Kim. But then was telling her man how to promote his music. She's like, you should do a giveaway or something. Or offer people money to play your music on your live. Excuse me, y'all. I did not get a cup of coffee. What? So is that the career we're trying to create for him? His music career? And then had the nerve to play his music in the background. I was cracking up. I was like, that's enough for me. I'm done. So you're prioritizing his music. That's how you know they are. She is young. Because I remember my baby daddy wanted a music career, and I was like, okay. And this is how crazy it was. When, when we got divorced, the judge required him to pay me $1 a year for like 10 years in case his music career blew up. That's how young and dumb I was. I was like, if he gets big, I supported him through all of this, and I should. Judge was like, okay, I'm gonna give you $1 a year in alimony. Girl, until your job, until you are getting paid enough to pay your bills, it is a hobby. It is a job when your bills are paid. So get a job. Correct, Pixie Girl. Sir, get a job. Although it'll probably be pennies when you get home because of all the amount of money you're going to have to pay back to the state. But grown women in the chat, why are y'all paying their bills? Because of the number of children they have. All of the tax credits. Probably. She probably used her TikTok gifts, her 1099, to say she was self-employed and then put all of her children on it. Who knows? Somebody has to explain to me why people are still sending them money while they are literally bragging about the things they purchased. Somebody needs to explain why that makes sense, because it doesn't make sense to me. Correct. Next. This one is gonna be funny. I meant to change her at is still Chungus for life. But she changed her name to, let's see, Wastelander 101. I'm sorry, this is going to be a long one. So bear with me because I got to go through the lives to explain to you the craziness of it all. So on the 9th, which would have been Monday, she is walking around outside. Sorry. She's walking around outside, proud of herself that she got a selfie stick from Five Below. But at some point, because I didn't watch her for a couple of days, at some point, she starts making an announcement, beginning, middle of all of her lives, that she has a case coming. If you think she's a scammer, you want to leave because she's taking photos and sending it to her lawyers, and a case is coming. So just leave so you don't get in trouble. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the case. And she called. This is what was interesting. She called it a long court case. And at first she said it was because of stalking and harassment. You'll see that changes over time. What the court case is about changes over time. Oh, Schindler, you have no idea. Now, you have all the energy in the world to meet with a lawyer, tell them your story, take pictures of everybody and send it in, but you don't got this much energy to get a job? Because, see, somebody like me, I go away when you stop taking advantage of the people in your chat. And if I stay based on what I see on the app, it's a public platform. You don't get to cry about it after you've done it. Okay. The goal is to get you to take care of yourself. But once people who aren't serious about fixing their life get accustomed to other people taking care of them, they're going to do it. All the people who I've been talking about for a year. How is Tim and Angela's life better? Could somebody explain that to me? Very few have gone on to get their life together and stop begging. They stop for one reason or another, but it's not always because they got their life together. Find them for me. And who's paying for your lawyer? Are you into legal aid? Okay. Then she starts calling out names. I'm gonna tell y'all how she did it. Maggie, are you here so you could look for new people to battle with? Or are you here to talk about the apology you got that was full of shit? Huh? I'm going to talk about that in a little while. I'm going to talk about that in a little while. Give me a minute. I don't know why people think things happen and I don't know about them. I may choose to talk about them or not. But you could stay. I'm not ready to do that now. I'm on Rachel Raquel. I'm not sure which name is real. Of course she can throw gifts. She literally watches us to find out who's getting attention. So she could go in there and you go ahead and beg. You this, you that. Nobody's even talking about Maggie anymore. That's the crazy part. Back to Chungus. You think that you're getting attention now? Girl, wait until people start streaming you. Wait until people start streaming you. I've only talked about you a couple of times, but you're going to get 300 new friends. And she claimed we do this for clout. Girl, nobody else is talking about you, so what clout? You have 10, 15, maybe 20 people in your life. What clout? They always say that. What clout? I was talking about this before you came along. I'm talking about it while you're here begging. And I'm going to talk about it when you go. Clout. Girl, they killed me. And then she said there was a lady going to jail. I think she thinks that I'm the account that's exposing her past. Somebody go tell her that's not me. I don't make duplicate accounts to troll people. I don't troll anybody to begin with. But I think she thinks we're the same person. I don't do that. I do what I'm doing right now. And that's it. I have commentary on what I watch and see and hear you do on TikTok. And that's it. I watch, I listen, I take notes, and then I talk about it. So please, because she keeps talking about her, and I'm not sure if she's talking about me or not. So let me make that clear. I'm still waiting for lawsuits from people that have claimed we're all getting sued. Somebody needs to tell her about Gabby. Because she took it there. And where is she now? Then she said she was standing on business. Do you stand on business to take care of yourself? Do you stand on business for your children? But you standing on business worrying about somebody talking about you and your actual past. And I'm talking about what you're doing on TikTok to take advantage of people. So she moved Airbnbs. And this Airbnb isn't nearly as nice as the one she was in before. Does she not understand though? Because she goes live from these Airbnbs. She shows her room. She shows herself cooking. Ma'am, you know people post photos of their Airbnbs, right? For somebody who's so concerned about her safety, so let me show you how concerned about her safety she is. And let me be clear. I am only showing these photos because she's downtown Chicago. It doesn't reflect where she lives or anything. She had to take the train to get there. But for somebody who was so concerned about their whereabouts, why are we doing this? We are literally showing street signs. You are doxing yourself. If somebody was actually after you in the city of Chicago, you are live. This wasn't like I took a video and I posted it. She is live walking down the streets of Chicago and showing her exact location. Somebody has to make that make sense to me. Slamming, that's amazing because it doesn't make sense. Two things can't be true at this. Those two things, I should say, can't be true at the same time. You're afraid for your safety, and I'm gonna show you exactly where I am on live. So on her trip, so this is the 9th, so Monday. I think she thinks walking around Chicago and showing people what a subway in Chicago looks like. For those of you who haven't been on a subway, do it once. You'll never need to do it again. Unless you're in different countries. But in America, it's pretty much the same. So, while she is talking about how we are breaking the law, which is why she has a lawsuit coming, she goes down into the subway, and in that moment, there wasn't anybody in the booth to give tickets. Now, usually, if a booth isn't covered 24/7, there are machines where you can buy a subway pass. But Raquel, wait, let me go back to her photo for a second. But Raquel sees the woman, lets her use her subway pass, and then she hops the turnstile. Was that to show that she gives to other people? Because the only thing you showed on live is that you broke the law. Now, is it over the top? Like, is it going to put her in jail for 6 months? No, it's not. But I found it interesting that she did it live and then told her chat, I gave it to the white lady tourist. What does her race have to do with it? Now, let me tell y'all, Raquel's definition of a scammer is someone who is rich and still asking people for money. Well, ma'am, that's not the actual definition of a scammer. You don't have to be rich to be a scammer. A scammer is somebody who takes advantage of other people for their own personal gain. Rich, middle class, poor, destitute. It doesn't matter. And on my spectrum of scamming, you hit so many on there that you reach the level of scammer. Because what I got to tell y'all that I learned by watching her the last couple of days, fascinating. Then some more people come in. Mind you, people can scroll in from anywhere. And she reminds them that now there's a doxing lawsuit. I thought it was stalking and harassment. When did it become doxing? While you sit here and dox yourself. But okay, no problem. Let me be clear. You're on a public platform. Just because somebody is watching you doesn't mean that they're stalking and harassing you. You are giving content. You are live showing everything you do. How is that stalking and harassment that somebody watches you? So, when my live ended on Friday, I went right into her live. I went from mine directly into hers. Of course, she wouldn't let me have a box. Like that matters. I have my own platform. I can say what I want. But since you want to listen to me and cry about what I'm talking about, I went in. Let's talk about it. And so I asked her to explain her comment about natural selection and we need to stop diluting our bloodline. She claims that wasn't about race at all. She claims she was discussing incest. Excuse me? Incest? Fatima, she's a wild ride, let me tell you. You were discussing incest? Because the way the story went is you started talking about people on Social Security and how they were a drag on the system, but you were just talking to somebody on disability, so you were like, I don't mean you because something happened to you. Then she said, I don't want to work. Why do we work and pay taxes? Because she's upset about what this present administration is doing. Imagine if everybody only paid taxes when the administration was somebody who they liked. Because if I recall, the government works for us regardless. It pays the Capitol Police, the FBI, the CIA, the military, congressmen. So, amongst other things, like FEMA and the FDA, all of these agencies where the people who work there can have whatever political leaning they want. The CDC. I mean, I could go on and on at what our taxes pay for. So, were you paying taxes when the government you liked existed? So, but see, I caught her saying, I'm not going to work or pay taxes right now. And she said to me, do you see what's going on in the world? I do. It's not that I like everything that's happening, but it's the law. It's the law. And I know that taxes, whether I pay them this year, next year, last year, are going to pay for the things that are necessary. And at some point, there'll be an administration that you like, and you'll still pay your taxes. And people who don't like that administration are going to pay their taxes too. Otherwise, the IRS is going to catch up to you one way or another. Okay, so let's throw that out. And let's focus on the fact that you told your people you don't want to work. And y'all didn't bat an eye. Nobody said, "What do you mean you didn't work?" I'm sorry, I got to do a sidebar. How does somebody score 83 points in a game in this day and age? Like, I'm flabbergasted. Okay, sorry. Y'all know I love basketball. So, then we get to the part about the bloodline. And I'm like, what did you mean by that? I don't tell her what she means. I ask her. She was like, what do you, what? I was talking about incest. Who talks about diluting the bloodline with incest in this day and age? Oh, I can't wait for March Madness. Let me tell you, I do a grid. I mean, yeah, I do a grid on ESPN. I usually do one or two. Haven't won, of course. But then Mr. and I do one in competition. He's beat me the last couple of years, and I'm unhappy about it. Anyway, stop lying. You needed to clean that up. She was like, I'm Asian and Mexican. It wasn't about race. I didn't say it was exactly about race. I want you to tell me what it is. Because saying that it's incest doesn't even make sense. While there probably is still incest going on, I saw a woman not too long ago say that she put her son up for adoption. He came and found her and wooed her, and now they're in love. That could be a troll account. I don't know. But that's disgusting. But that's what you were talking about? Okay. I'll let you tell it. And let me just say this. The more you talk about your case, the more you're diluting it. Because people now are keeping track of what you do. So that when they come and they talk to me and they say, well, why? And I can just pull out my notes and say, well, sir, she did and said such and such on such and such a day. And let's talk about the fact that you called me a demon. You do realize that calling me names isn't going to change a damn thing. But can I bring you up for defamation for calling me a demon? Then, of course, she says she's blessed and highly favored. Who told you that? Or did you make that up? Because I want to bring up the fact, for those of you who know the Bible well, when Jesus went into the temple and he saw that there were people taking advantage of the people coming to give their sacrifice, and they were being overcharged for something that they could have been given so that they could make their sacrifice. He flipped the tables. He did it twice, actually, because he saw that the people who were there to offer their sacrifice to God were being taken advantage of. I haven't seen him live. but I do know he's back. You can pray. God is going to listen. Well, he's going to listen to some prayers. Let's just keep it a buck. He's not going to listen to a prayer where it's like, let me rob this bank and I won't do anything bad again. Like, let's keep it a buck. He hears it. He ain't going to answer it, though. But you saying that you pray and that you've been praying more, you have to get to know God. And prayer isn't enough. You feel blessed because other people are giving you sympathy and paying for your way. That's not the same thing. Because God watches all of your actions, not when you just say, oh, God, I'm doing my thing. Let me pray to you. Mind you, all of this, and there's still no talk about taking care of your kids or getting a job yourself. Why don't you focus on what should be important instead of worrying about anybody else? If you have a warrant and it's posted, it's public record, but that's not me. Apparently, she has a warrant for a misdemeanor. I don't care. She's gotten accustomed to this Jet 2 holiday of having to do absolutely nothing. Because let's go back. She claims, and she said this on Friday, that she was homeless, living in an abandoned house, and was almost unalived, and people saw her online and took kindness. My question is, where did you get all of this stuff that you need a storage unit? Because I don't know people living in an abandoned building that have a bunch of stuff to move from Texas to Chicago. I don't know. Then she went from, what was it? Stalking and harassment to doxing to stalking, doxing, and cyber stalking. When I tell you this case kept growing as the days went on, I was like, okay. So then Tuesday comes and she's doing her makeup. Yes, that was White Fox saying good morning. And she tells them, I'm going downtown to look for a job. Now, it was noon my time, but it's 10 a.m. her time. But this is earlier than that, though. This is like 9 her time. She's going to look for a job. And she wants everybody to know that she's already broke the selfie stick in one day. Well, that's what happens when you buy it from Five Below, babe. If you're not very, 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 very careful, it's going to break. Oh, Riley. Oh, Riley, I'm sorry. White Sox is fake. Oh, by the way, she thinks that me putting her photo up is me trying to talk like I'm her. Let me dissuade you of that. I'm not trying to talk like I'm you. I'm just showing your photo and your at so that people can know where to go watch you so they can make up their own mind. Okay, Chaos. I hope you enjoy it. But before she went to go look for a job, she had to use her grinder so she can partake in her 420. Now, that's not my concern. She could smoke as much as she'd like as long as she's paying for it. But you gonna tote before you go look for a job? Okay. It didn't work out for her though. Then she did another announcement that if you're screen recording her and sending it to whoever, I don't know who her is, you are part of the fraud thing. The fraud thing. So now it's fraud. Why do you keep moving the needle? Now it's fraud. Did somebody just tell you a bunch of words to use and you're trying to get them all in? So now we're at 10 o'clock and she is downtown. Mind you, she says she doesn't usually like to go downtown to look for a job, but she's struggling to find one. Well, if you don't make it to the interview, how are you going to get a job? She's literally walking downtown Chicago saying nothing is open. At 10 a.m. on a Tuesday? Nothing is open? And that's where I got those pictures from, because she's walking, mind you, just after she says nothing is open. Wouldn't you know it? Wait, let me see if I have this picture. I might not have set it up. Oh, yep, I sure did. She goes into a Starbucks and gets a coffee. Everything is closed. She walks past a McDonald's, I believe a Wendy's, but don't quote me on that. But let me see if I can find that photo. As you can see, the lights are on in this business. Of course, no application. But this is the crazy thing. Most companies now, you apply online. So you walking in anywhere, they're going to be, you might be able to say, do you have a position open? But very few places is going to hand you a paper application now. Anybody who's been to Chicago knows exactly where she is. But you're concerned about your safety? Mind you, she'll be on the train and she'll show everybody on the train. Are you kidding me? But you're concerned about your safety while you show everybody else? What about their safety? What about their privacy? Every time she gets on the train, she shows everybody on the train. Mind you, this was, again, I don't make any of this stuff up. So as she's walking into the Starbucks, as she's walking into the Starbucks, somebody opens the door for her and she says, let me get it right now. She said, hi, you're welcome. And then she catches herself and says, I said, hi, you're welcome. I'm so stoned. You are so stoned that you forgot to say thank you instead of you're welcome, and you're looking for a job? You're looking for a job. You want me to believe you're looking for a job? Okay. She's like, I'm not showing where I'm going, and then proceeds to show everything. But she claims she's not manipulating the people taking care of her. Okay. And then I find out the bombshell. Oh, wait. Before I move on. Now I realize that in this day and age, you don't necessarily need to look professional. But you went downtown in a bright pink sweatsuit, hoodie and all, and you were looking for a job? Now I realize I'm old. And when we used to look for a job, we had to be dressed a certain way. But you're not a teenager. You're not in your 20s. Who goes and looks for a job like this? Good morning. Sorry. Missed me with it. Yes, she has kids. They're in Mexico. So then I get the bombshell of all bombshells. Because I did not know this. Right, take your Prozac. These kids have it easy. Because she was homeless, of course. So the kids are growing up in Mexico with their grandparents. Yes, there's more than one. Wait, what did you say? Right, Chaos. And you went post one day after surgery, but she can't find one. Well, somehow she always manages to have 420 to smoke every day. Well, a new character emerged, and his name is Raul. She has a whole boyfriend, y'all. So you got grown women taking care of you, and you have a whole man? So how I get introduced to Raul is he had some sort of a mental break, and I don't know if the cops got called, 911 got called, whatever. But how I find out is because she doesn't know where he is. And because she's not family, they won't give her any information because of HIPAA. So y'all are taking care of a woman that has a whole man in her life? Another one. There's Rachel, there's Raul, and then y'all are her man, her mother, her cousin, her therapist, her doctor, like her grocer. Like, what are we doing? And of course, she's stressed because she doesn't want to lose the Airbnb. And then she says the funniest thing of all. She said, digital has backed off. So I put my Venmo back in my bio. No, digital only goes live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I couldn't go live Monday. There's no back off. You're still taking advantage of people. Why'd you take it out? But the moment you think I backed off, you put it back in there. She might have changed her name by now. But look up Wasteland. Here, I'm going to type it in the chat. Somebody probably told her I was talking about her, so she changed her name. This is the last name that I found. Wastelander 101. But it was still Chungus. Oh, it was Chungasforever. My bad. She changed it from Chungus for Life to Chungasforever. And it was Wastelander 101. I apologize. I saw Chungasforever and I thought it was the same. It's Chungasforever. Girl, digital didn't back off. Digital just didn't go live. But I was watching and I wrote down she gonna be super mad when she finds out about today. So then she had Patty B. Let's see. Tell her she was a good person. But she lied and told everybody everything was closed on a Monday at 10 a.m. while she went into a store and got Starbucks. She's a good person, Patty B. Okay. Then this is what she says. This is Chungus. She says, I'm scared that hater bitch brought my views down. Then she said something about sending somebody named Miranda her last $30. And she tried to say it was related to her kids. Is it? Or is it so that they can start gathering money for your Airbnb? And then Nina Moore suggests to everybody that they like the live and share it so more people can come in. Why? So that more people can be taken advantage of, Nene? Hi, Nene? That's what you wanted? And then she says to them to donate for her success. So then last night, she went live. And let me show you something. Now, you're not going to recognize what these photos are, but I'm about to tell you. She decided to make macaroni and cheese from scratch, which that wasn't my mama's macaroni and cheese. But, you know, everybody eats differently. But in that bottom photo, what she's squeezing is a steak. How many homeless people do you know that are eating a steak in the middle of the week? There are people who are saving to have steak for Sunday night or Saturday night or Friday night. Who is giving somebody money for steak? I was like, that's interesting. And then she comes back later last night eating Dubai chocolate with a Trader Joe's chai. And this is, oh, she has Starbucks damn near every day. But then she does something interesting. She leaves the screen, comes back, and says, nobody better tease me. And guess what she has on? Raul's shirt. So are you telling me that people are paying an Airbnb for you and Raul? Because, okay, you have a boyfriend, but y'all live together? How come we ain't never seen Raul? Because if she showed her and her man, she'd get less money. So if people think that she's a single woman out here with nothing, they're going to send in. And then she tells her people she wants to battle. Well, if that's her ex, Which ex? That's not her baby daddy, because she said her baby daddy passed away. Why does she still have his stuff? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just asking the question. Jake from State, I'm assuming farm. In this day and age. But you know, she don't gotta pay for gas. So that's not bothering her. She tells her chat she wants to battle so bad, but she's afraid to. Listen to why she's afraid. She's afraid because she's afraid someone would use their face on their platform to pretend to be them. And she wants everybody to be safe. I call BS. No, she put the soy on the steak, and she got somebody else left truffle oil. So she used that in the macaroni and cheese. But she used mozzarella cheese as her main cheese for macaroni and cheese and put a couple of pieces of a slice of cheddar cheese in there. She cooks almost every day. But this is what's interesting. Earlier in the day, I saw her make 2 grilled cheese sandwiches. Now, I just assumed she was eating that. That's why I said that's not my mama's mac and cheese. At one point, while she was on the subway, she left the train car because she was upset that somebody was smoking a cigarette. And yet she smokes weed inside the Airbnb she's in on live. And she found it's supposed to be some spray to get rid of the weed smell. So she sprays it and damn near chokes herself. She's like, this is so strong. But she's like, the people in here aren't going to smell me smoking weed. I looked it up, and almost exclusively all Airbnbs are smoke free. Not only is it smoke free inside, they're like the patios, the this, the that are smoke free. And you're inside of an Airbnb smoking weed morning, noon, and night? This is what kills me, though. And then I'm going to move on from her. She wanted to make sure that they didn't smell it in the house. And then she says, there's an Indian family staying here, and they look rich. So why are they here? She, in fact, said they look like they have too much money to be here. Correct, Lumpy Pillows. Again, you could have just said there's a family here, but it's an Indian family, and they look too rich to be here. Are you paying for the Airbnb where you are? Is Raul? But you needed to identify this Indian family that you thought was rich. And now you're concerned about if they can smell you smoking 420 in this person's Airbnb? See, there's a saying that says, be careful when you're pointing at somebody else because four fingers are pointing back at you, or three, however it goes, three fingers. Here you are having other people pay for your life, and you have a nerve to look at other people because they may have worked their way into having money, and you're mad at them that they can afford it. And then, I'm sorry, one last thing. There were people from Texas watching her, and she got mad and said, why are people from Texas watching me? I want people from Chicago watching me. Girl, clearly I should be the least of your worries. Okay? I should be the least of your worries. You got bigger fish to fry. And I hope Raul is okay. I hope Raul is okay.
My phone is connected and charging.
Why don't you make sure you're on the right side? Because you're on the wrong street and I happen to be on the right side of it. But we'll see. Now, let me check something real quick. So, lo and behold, now this is a couple of days old, so you have to forgive me. I'm sure she's done a bunch of nonsense since. But I found it interesting that they have another car breakdown, a Jeep, their brand new Jeep that they got after the key ran into the deer. They haven't even had it 2 weeks. What did you say? I've only seen this one once, and I think she had her husband put in jail that time. I don't think so. I don't think she did that to Don. And there's already, literally, they haven't had the car for 2 weeks. The car before this, they hadn't even paid the first bill. And Sheena, mind you, I believe this is reset day. And I wrote down Sheena laments. Literally my words. Don't ask me where some of these words come from inside of me. I don't know. She wanted to know why it keeps happening to her. That they have the worst luck. Then she said, this is why I don't have a license. What? What happened to having a license just in case shit happens? What if you're in the car and something happens to your husband? You just gonna stand outside the car and scream to TikTok that you don't have no way? And you live in Maine of all places. We're not talking in the city where you can jump on the train, jump on the subway, have an Uber at your door every 3 seconds. This is Maine. Oh, her license is suspended. Wow. Because she then admitted that she would commit a crime later on. She literally says out of her mouth that if she had a license and this was her luck with cars, she would drive it into a river and leave it there and then report it and tell the cops. She said, how did she say it? She said, I would say, I swear I woke up and it was in the river. I swear I didn't do it. She then tells Don as he's coming in, she calls him dirty and says caca, which I'm not sure if she was using it that way, but caca is excrement in Spanish. And then she said, it's kind of turning me on. And then looks dead in the camera and says, I forgot I was live. Bitch, what? You are live every chance you get. So, and this is a reset day? And people in the comments when she first starts talking about the Jeep are telling her about something called the death roll, the death spiral, something like that. That's common in Jeeps where their whole steering and front wheel goes. Good morning. Good morning. The death wobble. Okay, the death wobble. I didn't know. Listen. If y'all at this point don't know how to pick out a used car, go get a mechanic to go with you. Sorry. I did not make coffee because I was late. But let me go back. She wanted to go with him to go pick out the next car because she said as soon as she got in it, she knew there was a problem. But then said it didn't sound like this when they got it. Okay. And then she referred to herself as Big Mama. Nobody wants to mess with Big Mama. Girl, Big Mama where? Nobody's afraid of you. You just have a lot. You talk loud and you act brash, but you're nothing. You aren't going to really do anything. But keep thinking Don is a genius. That's going to be your downfall. Because Don isn't a genius. He's your husband. You love him and you respect him, but he's not a genius. And then she said, why do we have such bad effing luck? Let me introduce you to her. She has a name. Her name is Karma. Exactly right. Her name is Karma. Because the way you treat other people is how karma treats you. You've been expecting people to fund your life forever. And when they don't, you ignore them and tell them you're trying to be positive, but nobody's gifting. If your attitude is predicated on people sending you money, you deserve everything you get. Because there's no respect. There's no mutual understanding. Your face sitting in front of a camera does not engender anybody to send you anything. You have to provide content. Your face isn't content. Sorry. That card don't pay. So I told you, until you take a hiatus and figure out who you really want to be on TikTok, you're going to have the center space in the grid. Period. Now, awareness T. In your long departure video, you lay out all your complaints about other people. And then you say about me, because you had to bring me up, you say that you have never met someone that likes to hear herself talk more. I find it interesting that you couldn't debate the quality or the quantity of the work that I do. So you decided to attack me. That's interesting. I wonder why. Because it's interesting that you had specific things that you mentioned about everybody else and what they've done wrong. But for me, it was hearing myself talk. Interesting. But okay. Let me talk about the chain of events and how we got to, I believe it was yesterday, because you lied in Maggie's live. So I want to set the record straight now that we've had your second go away. Now you'll be back because, like you said, you deactivated the account. You didn't delete it. And clearly we're ruffling your feathers because you came back saying that the gloves were off. Well, if you ruffled our feathers, we're still here, boo. We're still doing our thing. And you keep deactivating. And nothing's changed. And you want to know why nothing's changed? You might have had a point originally, right? But for A, you came back on a brand new account. So who the fuck are you? Until somebody figured out who you were. Shout out to them. But if you had come back as yourself and said, guys, listen, I had an epiphany. And maybe we're a little too rough. People might have respected that. People might have said, well, maybe she has a point. But you tried, oh, that's right, shout out to Birdie. You might have had a point if you had come back and said, as Happy Camper, I did such and such. And I regret it now. No. You came back propped up by other people to say, you guys are bad. And I've determined that because of X, Y, and Z. No mention of anything good, just like Awareness Unmasked. No mention of any good. Just we're bad people. Okay. Where was the compassion for the people who have been taken advantage of? Because, see, that was non-existent in their criticism. Non-existent. So clearly you had an axe to grind. And yet, you only got in one box that I'm aware of. And that was All for One's box. Because I think you thought somehow you were safe there. That you could do whatever you wanted to and then run to All for One's box to get confirmation. But what you did by making yourself the golden star against awareness is that you propped up the scammers themselves. Because you felt like we needed to be kinder to them. Again, completely missing the people that they were taking advantage of. And then tried to say, well, we can do both. Thank you. How exactly? Because you can't say that I've ever talked bad about a person, bullied them, shamed them, trolled them, but you put all of awareness in the same category. Now, let me be clear about me and awareness. I started as awareness. I thought it was a valiant effort. But the longer I was in quote unquote awareness, the more I saw stuff that I didn't want to associate with. So I changed it to raising the consciousness. Now, some people could say I changed it because I wanted to take gifts. I always had my gifts on. I've never turned them off. So that couldn't have been the reason. It was some of the things I saw done in the name of awareness. The beefing amongst groups talking about the same person. People giving money to the scammers so they had exclusive rights to what was coming out. How is that awareness? Needing to divide the community who is just seeking information. Well, if you're over there in their live, then you can't be over here in this live. The fuck? Correct. Doxing. I didn't want no parts of it. So a long time ago, I changed myself to raising the consciousness because I also did the extra step of trying to do some education, trying to get people to understand that it's not just the words that I say, but I back them up. Not only with receipts, but I back them up with, let me show you this. I created the spectrum of scamming. I did things differently because that's one of the reasons why I went live. Was because I could be in anybody's box and talk for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or however long I run my mouth. But I can't get my full and complete thoughts out about anyone in particular because I'm in somebody else's live. That's why I went live the first time. It's why I keep going live. If I like to hear myself talk in this moment, there are 468 people who also like to hear me talk. If me talking is so bad and grates your nerves, go watch somebody else. But while I don't call myself awareness, I know good is being done under that banner. I call it a tent. And the tent is so wide that new people could come in. And I am always trying to encourage new people. Now I got to take a break for a second and apologize to TikTok Beggars. Because I accused her of doing something she didn't do. And what was disappointing was that the people who did it, anonymous in them, let me say it was her and never corrected me and said that wasn't her, that was me. That's disappointing. Because I've already forgiven you for the things that were done. So why you would let me say something was her when it wasn't is wild to me. But I digress. You came in attacking people when you were a part of the community. Now, there's something to be said that you're on the outside and you don't like what we're doing, but you were a part of the community. So you could have come back as Happy Camper and said, I had an epiphany. No, you came back on the attack thinking that you could go after a group of people and people wouldn't clock you. People wouldn't ask you. So then to try to legitimize yourself, you were like, I did things that I'm sorry for. Well, that's not good enough. So after you got taken advantage of by Aaron, because he saw you as the fixer, and believe me, you weren't the first and you weren't the last. So don't be proud of it. Because he went all over this app trying to get people to leave him alone. And when he came across, thank you, Granny Annie. When he came across your account, he thought, oh, I got somebody who's against them. And for some reason you thought you were a negotiator in chief. And he manipulated you by telling you he was ready to unalive himself. And you want to know how I know that was manipulation? Because when you brought it up to him later, he yelled at you to stop talking. Because he didn't want the people in his chat to know that that's what he said to you. Because it wasn't real. It was to get you on his side. Because again, your sympathy lies with the scammer and not with the people they're taking it, and not with the people they're taking advantage of. So when you got in All for One's box, after All for One made the effort to help him, but we knew he didn't want that help, I now have questions. Since you are going to sit and attack a group of people you used to be a part of, which at the time I didn't know who you were. I thought you were a random. And I said to you, you are sitting in criticism of other people, but you have said yourself you did something wrong. What was it? You want to let me remind you of what your answer was. That you didn't want to say because people would figure out who you were. So you mean to tell me you can't even stand on your own position? You're calling out people for bad behavior, but aren't even willing to say what your bad behavior was because you didn't want nobody to know who you were? I called BS on that. Unless you're willing to stand up and apologize for what you did, how can you sit in criticism of anybody else? And see, the beautiful thing about me making a mistake is that I'm expected to. I'm not going to get everything right. But I don't hold myself to a purity standard. So I have no problem coming to the chat that listens to me and apologizing to anybody for anything I've done wrong. I've said to y'all, if y'all see me doing something wrong, if you see me saying something wrong, correct me in the moment. So we had other discussions. And then after we talked to you, Aaron got so mad that he put out your conversation. And in that, we figured out that you were lying about the nature of that conversation. So then, well, who was it? I could have forgot already. Whoever figured out she was Happy Camper. Then you disappeared. And Birdie, I'm sorry, thank you. I don't know. I want to say berries, and I know that it's not berries. It's Birdie. Shout out to Birdie. So you left, and then you come back. I'm on 10. Da 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 da. And what did she say? I got the money to cover a lawsuit. Girl, you're the one sitting in criticism of other people about people in criticism of other people. Make it make sense. And furthermore, no one wants to dox you. Who gives a kitty? What is the point of doxing you? I know I don't care. And I know the people I associate myself with don't care to dox you. For what? You have had zero impact. Zero. Right, berries. Ha! Girl, I saw that. That was woo! And she actually had a nerve to say it's not illegal if it's in your yard. I was like, girl, you on TikTok. Open Google. Anyway. So you having the money to do something that you're doing to other people is mind blowing to me. So then you decided, as you were going to deactivate again, that you would go in Maggie's box. And apologize to her directly. Even though you did a long, drawn out apology about how you made some cartoon AI whatever of her, and it made you feel so bad. You go in Maggie's live to apologize. Okay, cool. Maggie could care less, but okay. And they're like, your excuse was that Maggie tells people what she wants the money for, and so you should have never criticized her. What? See, you did the wrong thing. Because you didn't just criticize her for doing that. You made a photo of her and posted it, and you admit you thought it was funny. See, I don't do that. Right. I can't say Kiropi? Kiropi? So, of course, you were finally getting validation from people who were like, yes. And one person said, you're the first of a million. We got 1 million to go. The crazy part is that nobody's even talking about Maggie anymore. Awareness T apologized to her last night. Nobody's even talking about Maggie. Maggie is running around this app trying to get people to follow her. Nobody's talking about her. So you bringing up something from a long time ago to try to make yourself look better, well, do it. But again, zero impact. But then they're like, They say to awareness T, you need to bring that back to your other people in awareness. And she goes, oh, I'm not awareness anymore. I call awareness out. I thought you were deactivating, but whatever. And they're like, oh. She's like, and they're upset about it. Who? Who? Because I talk about it doesn't mean I'm upset about it. And then she says to them, and they went, she uses some phrase, I can't quote it, but something like, I was trying to help somebody because they reached out to me that they were going to unalive themselves and they came after me. Is that how it went? Because that's not how it went. Because if you told the truth, you got taken advantage of by somebody who lied and said that's how he felt. Because he wanted you to come and tell us to stop. He didn't have to stop, but we had to stop. And so, of course, now you have a sympathetic ear. Oh my goodness, they did that to you? That's so wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Let me show y'all something real quick. Shout out to the little birdie that got this. And I'm not talking about birdie. I mean like a little birdie. While you were in the live, you followed them and they followed you for an account that's getting deactivated. And as you can see, Maggie, Not Easily Broken, Tabitha, and Marley Mar were all in the live talking to her. This is her account. Meaning Awareness T's account. They followed each other. Right. They were all in the boxes. Oh, cool, Lava Cake. Everybody go to Lava Cake's page so you can hear it for yourself. I was hoping somebody recorded it. Deshawn, we already covered it. I got to it. I showed them she was bragging because she got a little check. We'll see what happens in 3 weeks when she's back to crying about how she can't buy something. Give it time. She'll be back doing it. Lava Cake, you private, you gonna get a whole lot of friends right now. So Awareness Team, when you have to run to scammers, people who take advantage of others, beggars, to get validation, you do need another break. Because you don't have to like the way people do it. But to cross the line, knowing everything you know, and go over and support the other side is crazy. That's like a cop becoming a rug dealer or an unaliver. You don't have to be a cop no more. But that doesn't mean you become a criminal. So this crossover is bananas. But I'm going to let you have it. Do your thing. Because if you think that I've liked to hear my voice up till now, let's say this. If this was about me wanting to hear my own voice, I'd be live every single day, all day. I go in a few boxes and talk. I don't go in as nearly as many as I used to. I used to get teased about how many boxes I was in because I was so passionate and dedicated and wanted to learn from everybody. And then I wanted to take the support I didn't get when I started and give it to new people. But anybody watching me lately knows that I don't do that quite as much anymore. Because I've gotten burned time and time and time again. And now that I have a set schedule, I have to watch. So I can't be everywhere all the time. There's some homes that I love to be in. And that's where you'll find me. Other than that, I'm watching, studying. And I actually have a life. Believe it or not. So when you don't have any actual criticism, and I'm sure you have some, which is what's also baffling to me. Because when you had the opportunity to come at me about what I do wrong, you chose to come at me about my behavior when it comes to hearing myself talk. I have my opinion about why, but I'll save that for another day. Awareness T was in Maggie's box apologizing to her and then trashing the awareness community. Like we did her wrong. I don't understand how you can have it both ways. But that's the end of my commentary. Awareness T, for the record, I got another little something coming I've been working on. I think y'all will enjoy it, and hopefully she will too. But come back with your new ammunition. But either leave me out of it or no, I'm going to talk about it. Cuz I don't condescend to anyone, and no one's going to condescend to me. Okay? So with that, I appreciate you all. I want you to thank you. I want you to hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. And after what we just went through with his cousin, you don't go to bed without saying I love you. And if there's somebody in your life that you're estranged from, let it go. Let it go. It's not worth it. Correct, Southern Charm. Never go to bed angry. So, what song am I leaving with y'all today? Let's see. 1 second, because I don't remember the name of it and I didn't write it down. Okay. I'm sorry. Everybody have a wonderful day. I will see you Friday morning.